just like 2 could be written by number 2 or the word 2, T, there we go. So all are the same. Okay, so how can I read well? How can I answer the questions if I get into the exam? First of all, you had to read the questions. How is that and why is that? Well, try to know or try to figure out the answer key. Well, you can find it not in the article or the page that you are looking inside. You can find it in the questions. For each point in the questions, it has something to answer about. Well, for example, when did Stephen find that his mother forgot about his breakfast? That's the question. Okay, so where I'm going to look inside, because probably in this event this action had been mentioned in several points, in several lines, in several paragraphs. It has something to do with when, so we are going to look for what? By time. That's one thing. It has also something to do with what? Secondary point, just like secondary answer key, which is forgotten. So the time that she had forget. So remembering these words it would make it easier for you to remember the questions. You can't remember the whole line. Hard for you. Well, after knowing or underlying the answer keys of the points in the question, you start looking inside it. There are some mistakes that teachers are doing all the time, which is they didn't make it gradually coming one by one. I mean, for example, if you are looking for the answer of the first point in the question, regularly you're supposed to find it at the beginning of the article, and it makes it easy for the student to find it. Well, some students cannot find the answer of the second point and they find the answer of the third one. It means that the answer of the second point has been came by and you didn't notice it. So noticing the answer, it means that you have to find it and search for it between the first point and third point. I'm talking about the second point of the question. Well, in any way, so there are another problem, which is paraphrasing. Sometimes your answer cannot come exactly with the same point, the same word that had been mentioned in the question. It could be mentioned by paraphrasing or even by different words with the same meaning. So in this way, you had to do what? You had to know or expecting the other words that's probably giving you the same answer. Well, what else that you have to do with your own answer? Sometimes you had to take the half of your answer come from the question, and you don't have sometimes to do it. It has something to do with academic and general training or general testing. Well, that's about the reading skill. How about writing? Well, there are several types of topics in any language. One of those is problem and solution. Problem and solution, just like the whole material that we are talking about, is what? It's negative. It's 100%. I'm talking about the topic. It's bad point. For example, drugs, sickness or disease, so smoking. So there's no useful of these things. I mean, there's no good side of smoking, taking drugs, or being sick. So it is 100% negative or dark side of this point, of this topic. So how can I organize my own answer? Well, in this case, you need to do what? To talk in general at the beginning of this topic. So topic sentences comes first in the introduction. After that, the supporting sentences, which is giving you more details, but without mentioning names of places and other detail. I'm saying about how to support the topic sentence, for example, the same information, but in general, without mentioning any sub ideas. Well, after that, you can do some addition, just like, for example, given a plan for the next of your own details, just like I will write about the lab and so on. So just giving us the other ideas that you are going to talk about. How about writing the paragraphs of the problems and solutions? Well, try not to gather the problems and solutions with one paragraph. Paragraphs had been set to divide. The ideas had been written in pages or articles. So in this case, each separated idea is supposed to be mentioned with one paragraph. If you had finished with, for example, after writing 5-6 sentences, and you feel that you are going to talk about a new idea, try to make it with another paragraph, and so on. So writing, for example, one problem, two problems with two different paragraphs, and after that trying to give your own solution with different or separated paragraph. Well, I still need more writing. So what can I do? Try to write more details. If you don't have any more, try to say some examples, events, characters, even if it was personal, just like talking about yourself. If not, try to use your own imagination to imagine some situations could fill up the gaps of your own writing. Don't make it too, too little, because too much effect on your own score. So, how about the conclusion? Conclusion first, supposed to mention some linking words, linking phrases. I believe, I conclude. So this way, I assume. After that, you had to mention the summary of your ideas that you had mentioned in the details. The main points. Well, there's a new way to end your conclusion, which is infinity question, which is, for example, if you are not sure if you had covered the whole material with your own conclusion, you can add, for example, well, even though it is not for sure that this idea, this topic had been done in this way, because probably time will reveal more things about it. For example, I'm not mentioning a specific topic, just like in general. Well, so now let's talk about the other points that we could cover with our own writing. We talk about problems and solutions. There is another one, which is opinion. Well, opinion, it means that there's no matter of right or wrong. So it's just a matter of opinion. You can make just like conclusion. Arguing, discussion. Somebody saying that, other one saying that. So each paragraph would cover a new opinion, for example. Don't gather all these things with one paragraph. Well, how about another one? Now, let's remember the advantage and disadvantage. Well, what does it mean, advantage and disadvantage? If you are talking about a topic which is which has probably one of its parts could be useful, positive, get some advantage from it, it is what? It is good thing, good point. The other one is not. How's that? For example, let's talk about the social media. In the social media, some people use it in the right way, so it could be useful in that way. Well, sometimes use the